Good afternoon to you all. My name is Precious. I'm from Zambia. As a participant in the 2024 International Council on Monument and Sites ICOMOS Exchange Program, hosted by the World Heritage Office, my project required me to develop an education plan with recommendations for education programming opportunities, outreach programs, and special needs and accessibility. In addition, make recommendation for potential education print media for the World Heritage Center. To achieve this, I explored education practices through research by visiting 5 museums in San Antonio, namely the Summer Museum, the Whitty, the McNeil, Dosiam, and the Alamo, to appreciate their education programs and interact with museum staff. The museum visits offered valuable insights into their education programs and best practices. Additionally, I interacted with educators, visited special needs facilities such as the Vibrant Works, that is an institution that takes care of the visually impaired and the blind, and needs facilities, sought advice from education experts. I had an opportunity through this summer internship to interact with professionals in the education system. I reviewed the websites of all the institutions I visited. Through this process, I had to identify several best practices, such as interactive learning, community engagement, and inclusivity in programming. The research served as a foundation for my project, as insights gains were instrumental in making the recommendations that I presented in the education plan, which I submitted to the World Heritage Office. That is just the table of contents of what I will be able to present, giving you a background, just an overview of the World Heritage Center, its purpose, the education plan, the purpose, the goals, the audiences, and the recommendation, which was the project, my project when I came to San Antonio. So before I go any further, allow me to give a background of the World Heritage Center. In 2015, the UNESCO organization designated the San Antonio missions as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The missions are a collection of the Spanish colonial architecture in the United States and the first World Heritage Site in Texas. To carry out the World Heritage Work Plan, the city of San Antonio established the World Heritage Office. In 2016, the office is responsible for promoting the San Antonio missions, maximizing the economic impact of the World Heritage Work Plan and related projects within the buffer zone. The focus is on improving the World Heritage buffer zone through beautification, infrastructure development, land use, marketing, outreach, small businesses, transportation, and wayfinding. So there were 3 symposiums that were conducted by the city of San Antonio that were like to discuss. The first symposium happened in 2015, and the purpose was to educate, create awareness on what World Heritage is all about. The second symposium was to look at how the experiences, on how they can improve the experiences of the visitors that would come to the missions. The third symposium was to update and review the land use policy. So through the land use symposium led to the plans for a center to be built. The center will be a gateway to exploring the missions, providing education programs and information on the community's history, art, and culture, to showcase the stories of the area's residents, spanning from those who interacted with the Spanish to the modern day residents. So the pictures that you are seeing here are just showing the pictures of the missions and the buffer zone where the World Heritage Office is responsible. Then those are just photographs of the World Heritage Center that is under construction. We are looking at the mission drive. We also have the drum circle that will be part of the constructions that will happen at the World Heritage Center. So we are looking at, allow me to explain the education plan, which is the core of the project that I went to do at San Antonio World Heritage Office, where I'm looking at the education plan. Why should they have an education plan in their implementation of their education program? So this is a structured outline that gives a comprehensive framework detailing objectives, strategies, and activities that will be conducted at the center. It also serves as a roadmap, providing guidance for delivering programs and systematic approach to designing education experiences, programs that align with the clear objectives, assessment methods, and teaching strategies. What is the purpose of having an education plan for the World Heritage Center? We are looking at it. It provides structured learning, helps to develop targeted programs. It also defines education programs and measures effectiveness. What are the goals of having an education plan? It enhances in learning outcomes, aligns program with what the institution's mission is all about, ensures there's program sustainability, and also fosters community engagement, because in all the things that you do, the community gets involved. We are looking at the target audience, which is also supposed to be enshrined in the education plan, where we are saying the target audiences for the World Heritage Center that is being constructed. We are looking at it from the residents, the school groups, the tourists, families, students, special interest groups such as the differently abled, researchers. The education plan should align with the curriculum integration because it has to show its relevance to the potential visitors. It should be able to engage the visitors that come to the center, even the residents, shows effectiveness, and fosters collaboration that enhances education development. Also, I also looked at the assessment and evaluation in all the education programs that will be conducted at the World Heritage Center. There's need to assess and evaluate them because these are essential in engaging visitors, meeting learning objectives, and improving impact. So I just outlined some of the tools that can be used in assessment and in evaluation, such as visitor surveys, observation. They can conduct interviews and get feedback forms, also comments book. Recommendation. So this is where my project dwells, where I'm saying, when I went through research, the proposed education programs will be implemented through a variety of engaging programs such as workshops, guided tours, classes, lectures, seminars, interactive exhibits, and special events. And the goal of having these is to make learning accessible, engaging, relevant to a diverse audience. So what I've outlined there are some of the recommendations that I made after doing all the research, after interacting with so many people, where I'm looking at education programs based on the interpretive theme, because the World Heritage Center is exhibited, or the exhibition is based on the interpretive theme, such as geography, arts and culture, history, architecture, spirituality, and food heritage. We are also looking at special education needs programs, which have recommended outreach programs, environmental programs, because we are looking at preservation of the San Antonio the mission's World Heritage resources. So these are the interpretive, the programs, I would say recommendations for the programs that I provided, where I'm looking at the geography, interactive map, where we can do the map-based activities, limestone tales, looking at the significance of limestone because the missions are constructed using limestone. I'm looking at the journey of the nomads, looking at the historical, the lifestyle of the nomads, their way of life. I'm looking at the river journey, which can be an education program, looking at the role of the river. I'm also looking at having a heritage quiz. We have arts and culture. I'm looking at having the drum circle, let the sound echo, where children are interacted through the drum circle, where they learn the significance of the drum circle because it is something that is so prominent in the Mexican culture. I'm also looking at the missions in the eyes of the child, where we are getting to understand how does the child interpret the mission? We are also looking at games of our ancestors, where we are looking at appreciating what our ancestors were doing, the games that we're playing, and also heritage crafts workshop, where I recommended things like the weaving, the pottery making, the woodworking. We want to appreciate the craftsmanship of the San Antonio missions. And also chariot, my culture, my identity, which is a tradition that has withstood the test of time. And I'm trying to propose it so that children, there's continuity, people still continue learning about it. In the architecture and history, I'm looking at the mission builders, where children can be engaged to build missions using different types of materials, even elderly and the tourists. Also looking at unveiling the hidden treasures of the mission. That is where we interact with the children. That is, we introduce them to the world of archaeology, where they would do a simulated dig out, get some treasures and examine them just to introduce them to archaeology. I'm also looking at our treasures of San Antonio, discovering mission life through the stereoscope. So these are just photographs showing, illustrative photographs showing the activities or education programs that I proposed, where we are looking at the grinding corn using a mitato and a mano. This is a tradition for our ancestors, and we want continuity. We want our children to learn how to grind the corn. We have an interactive map where the children can interact with the digital map, where they can interact with the map, where they're able to see all the missions in the site. This is a dig out pit for the children that we can also have at the World Heritage Center. Then also the charo, where we can have an interaction with people that participate in the charo and explain to the visitors, to the children, what really transpired, what really happens, and the historical significance of it. The other thing that I recommended are special education needs and accessibility, where I'm saying this is a community, this is an audience that the World Heritage Center can take advantage of and also can provide services with. And our idea, the essence is for these children also to appreciate the World Heritage Center because it is the community center. So these are the programs where I'm saying sensory guided tours, all these things are supposed to be catered for. The visually impaired, the deaf, deafblind can also access the World Heritage Center. I'm looking at the joy of touching, where the visually impaired or the blind can have access to museum artifacts through touch. We are seeing sounds of the mission where they can interact. We can engage them using sound. We are saying unveiling the hidden talents. That is specifically for children who are deaf, who are unable to express themselves by their talents. So the World Heritage Center, this is a program where the talent can be unveiled through the World Heritage Center, where the children can do artworks, can do the dancing, can beat up the drums. And the last program that I recommended is Meet Me at San Antonio Heritage Center. That is meant for the elderly. You know, the elderly, it is a lonely community. These are the people that we can also take advantage of. We can create a program for them where they meet at the World Heritage Center, do programs with us. These are living libraries. We can get information from them. We can get whatever information that we need. They can tell us about the missions such that we can keep documenting the stories of San Antonio missions. These are just photographs to illustrate some of the programs. You can see the joy of touching. We are seeing culinary activities with the visually impaired. We are looking at the elderly doing an arts program. This can be done at the World Heritage Center to incorporate them. We are seeing interactive activity with the deaf children. The other thing is the outreach program. We want to get to other places, people that are unable to visit the World Heritage Center. I recommended to have outreach programs where we have heritage in a box. We can have curated artifacts, put them in the box, and we can take to different places, to schools, take the mission to the schools. We can go to special needs facilities. We can go to the homes for the elderly where we interact with them, do programs with them, and they can have an access to the curated artifacts that we keep. Apart from that, we are looking at beyond site. We can also have artifacts that we can be using for tactile programs with people with special needs. Environmental programs, these are my recommendations to say World Heritage Office can collaborate with other stakeholders, with other partners, like the San Antonio River Authority, where we can do programs like turning trash into treasure, where everybody's talking about climate change, and we can also be part of it. We can do tree planting exercise with the local community, do water conservation workshops with students from different universities, from secondary schools or high schools, environmental quiz competition, environmental film series through our Marquee Plaza, where we invite people to come and watch the films, hold community cleanup events, community education public fora on environmental issues. So these are just photographs of some of the things, some of the treasures which were made by different children, where we are looking at a mat made out of plastic, toys that they can made out of bottle tops. We have a jacket that was made out of the bottle tops, and this was an environmental quiz, just a picture to show the quiz where students or school children are equipped with different information. Apart from that, recommendation where I look at resources which the World Heritage Center can also utilize to engage the learning To extend the learning, where we have activity book that can be made for the World Heritage Center. This one engages the learners, engages the children as they navigate the World Heritage Center. We can have a guidebook that gives a detailed information about what we've exhibited. We have a worksheet. We can have a brochure that provides information about the World Heritage Center. We can also do educators workshops where we educate the educators. We tell them, create awareness on all the programs that we are doing, and also do an activity calendar where we distribute to different schools, different audiences, just telling them of all the things that we are doing, all the activities that we are conducting. So these are just photographs to show I was privileged during this summer intern to participate in a workshop that was organized at the McNeil Museum. Then this is another program, which was a educators workshop organized by El Camino, that is Mission Conceptual. It was a music workshop, and this is another workshop that was conducted in Zambia. When we are doing all these programs, what are we trying to achieve? We are trying to build a sustainable community. How? Through social, economic, cultural, and environmental. We want to engage community engagement and empowerment. We want to be inclusive and accessible, social cohesion and well-being. We are looking at education programs where people will be coming to participate in it, tourists will be coming, there will be tourism revenue, local businesses will be empowered. We are looking at skills development. From the cultural concept, we are looking at it providing education, cultural education and cultural continuity. There will be heritage preservation through intergenerational learning, because the young ones will be learning from the elderly, the local community will participate, they will tell us their story, that will be transmitted to the growing generation. Apart from that, we are looking at environmental impact, where we are saying we can practice the green practice awareness through projects like the ones that I mentioned, to say water management workshops and also conservation environmental education. Holistically, we are also looking at best practices in heritage education programming, where we are saying, according to the American Association for State and Local History, American Alliance for Museums, and ICOMOS-USA, that is the Center for Education and Cultural Action, these are the best practices in heritage education programming, though the practices are many. I just picked a few of them, where I looked at education objectives. They should be clear and align activities to the center's goals. We need to employ interactive and engaging activities in all our programming, education programming. Then there's need to do an audience-centered approach, where we need to conduct a needs assessment, interest, learning styles, because audience is very important. They come with different characteristics. The way we teach the young ones and the elderly one is completely different. For us to engage them, we need to understand their learning styles. Partnerships and collaborations are important in heritage education programming. Adaptability and innovation, we have to be flexible in programming and technological integration, because we live in a digital world. People that are unable to come to the World Heritage Center can be able to access our heritage education programs through digital. Apart from that, achieving education goals requires an education plan, and that was my major role, why I went to the World Heritage Office, with clear objectives, planned programs, continuous assessment, evaluation tools, facilitate continuous improvement, ensures that education initiatives are responsive to the needs of the audience. So we have photos showing the San Antonio memorable experiences that I've had in San Antonio. I have to mention that I learned a lot. The World Heritage Office is so instrumental in community engagement. We did a lot of community engagement. I was privileged to interact with so many people, talk about the World Heritage education programs, which I made recommendations on. So those are photographs where I was interacting. I was able to attend workshops. I was able to participate in a number of workshops. Then I also participated, I witnessed the Tejas rodeo. I went to the rodeo where I saw the charros, I saw the horse rides. And one of the things that really impressed me during this summer internships was being part of the 4th of July celebrations. I went through the stars and strips during the celebration. And also I tasted different culinary foods of San Antonio. So that's a picture of me eating chicken on a stick. Thank you so much to the ICOMOS-USA for the opportunity. Thank you so much to the City of San Antonio World Heritage Office. I have to mention that I give thanks to Colleen, who was there for me for the support they provided to me. The World Heritage Office team. Thank you to Rebecca, who was there for me. She never got tired of me. She was always there with me. Thank you to Stephanie. Thank you so much.